This is obviously the plane. I thought I'd start right with a couple of shots in case you've all forgotten what aeroplanes look like, okay? And I even took a selfie on the plane. I mean, how cool is this? Just to let you know that it actually was me on the plane. But this is the guest house I stayed in first at Port Moresby. It was a share room. The first night I was alone. The second night I had a couple other guys there with me, which was pretty good. And this is where I stayed. Here, they're out street preaching. They go and set up, and you can see the speakers here. There's one there, another one over here. And this guy was preaching like you'd never heard preaching before. He was really into it. And then they did an altar call in the street, and I thought, what? And then, lo and behold, two people put their hand up, came forward to the altar call in the middle of the street, and it was just like, wow, that's cool. I've never seen that before, all right? And people, you go around with your tracts afterwards, and instead of handing out tracts, they were all coming to get them off you, which was pretty amazing. So then the following morning, that must have been Tuesday evening, because Wednesday he said, could I come and speak to all the kids? He's got about 200 kids that go to school there. There was Pastor Tao Avery of that church. This is an entire village that live on stumps in the water, and they say it was the first place that white missionaries would have gone to when they went to PNG. You'll see a couple of pictures. I actually go in, zoom in a little bit further so you can see what, obviously the houses have changed since the first white missionaries, but they still live there. Now what I've done is I've driven down into those trees. This is how you can see they're selling stuff on the side of the road. This is their bus system. I've never seen so many coaster buses lined up in my life. And then that evening we went back to the church. And it was literally that dark. They found a big brick thing and sat on the pulpit so they could all see me, but this is what I could see of them. You see the brick he's got in his hand up there? That's what was sitting on the pulpit right here showing on my Bible. I was obviously ablaze, but I could not even see the front row. I didn't know whether there was one person there or 100 people there. I had no idea. But you can see that plaque just here. The boat, Lagatoy, I think they called it, would have been one of their original traditional boats. And again, that's what one of the first missionaries would have travelled on, a traditional boat to get there. Sitting here in front of you. And as soon as they did the ceremony and they closed in prayer, he went, Amen. Blink, 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 blink. All the lights came on. All right, so we've moved from the south to the north, up into Lay, and I think I've got a series of photos. I've jumped forward. Mirring took me out for a day trip and the family, all right? And all these mountains are around Lay. The mountains aren't quite like our mountains. These are their foothills, and their foothills are the size of our mountains. Of course, they had to get one of me. Then I can do this. Look at this driver. Very special driver. I
I don't trust you.
There's those mountains again. So he said to me, he said, I can't take you to my village, it's too far away, but I'll take you for a drive up the road to my village. So I get an idea of, as we're going along, what these different things look like. These are coffee beans. They've got them out drying. I've never seen coffee beans like this before. They usually go straight into my grinder and then into my cup. That's a coffee tree. And they had beans on the tree. I thought it was cool. Then back in Ley itself, they've got a huge war cemetery dedicated to basically the Australians. There is an Indian Army section as well. And it is one of the nicest places you would go to. It is well kept, beautiful to look at. All right, Calvary Baptist Church is where we actually had the youth camp, and you can see all the young people here. 360, I believe, were at the camp. I found it hard to take pictures with my camera, but obviously got some. There we go, 360 campers. He runs a school as well, and so you've got all these dormitories around the place where they all stayed in. You can see the guys come in on the left and sit on the left. The girls come in on the right and sit on the right. So I had to make sure that I stayed on the right hand when I was sitting. There's his pulpit. It's literally made out of stone. Literally. And it's heavy. This is Pastor Philip Cerulin. He's been pastor there for 19, 20, 21 years. So I've been running the camp for 19 years. This is just the young people in church. And the senior young people. So we're talking, I think he starts at 15 and goes up. There's all the preaching. This is their senior youth choir from Calvary Baptist Church.
Egypt was once my home, I was to stay. Helpless in singing wrong, not like in bread, but when I looked up to heaven's throne, Christ came to save, I'm living in Canaan.
Oh yeah, come on.
Egypt behind, crossed over Jordan wide, left to find. My soul is satisfied, no longer blind, living with Jesus up in Canaan right now. Now in the Lord's grave, where every sin, my soul was filled with fear, darkness within, but Christ the Savior to me drew near. My heart to win, I'm living in Canaan now. Egypt behind, crossed over Jordan wide, endless to find. My soul is satisfied, no longer blind, living with Jesus up in Canaan right now. Satan lay every bound, we fell too strong. Look up to higher grounds, will not belong to Christ the Savior. Your soul is found. You'll sing this song, I'm living in Canaan now. Egypt behind, crossed over Jordan wide, endless to find. My soul is satisfied, no longer blind, living with Jesus up in Canaan right now.
This is the deacon, Brother Lloyd. He's about your age, and this is how he opens in prayer every service. Every service to the crowd. I'm preaching about something. Yeah. Amen. I went up there to preach. This is the altars, almost every service packed. This is Bethel Baptist, which is Singling's church.
I should look for his beauty in the morning.
church has about 200 people that go, whereas Calvary is 500 plus that goes there. The difference between the two churches is they find that the locals won't go out of their settlement to a church in another settlement because it'll be a different tribe, and if there's tribal conflict, well, then that cause other issues.
After supplement, thou hast much goods for many years to come. Sit back, relax, eat and be merry, and enjoy life. Verse number 20, God calls him a fool. Tonight, thou soul will be required of thee. You come back and inside on James 4 and verse number 15. I'm talking about for that you ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live. And do this or that. So you can plan.
This little group drove 12 hours to get to this camp. It's their church bus. The last night, the 7 or 8 or 9 churches, how many were represented, everybody came. Everybody came. Now, as you saw earlier, the church was already filled just with the young people. So Pastor Philip made his members sit out in the tent, put speakers out there, and then you've got this crowd that just sat outside in the dark, and they're trying to find the odd seat for, as they call them, mamas and papas, to come inside and sit down. That's all the preachers together after the service. That's getting ready to hop on the plane to come back. They came out at 5 a.m. to see me off.
Was the bunch?
I didn't know he did this. I found this on Facebook.
Was the bunch taking off? Leaving our shores now for connections back to Tumba. Thank you for coming.